When you buy a house in Florida, you're often paying a steep premium for what's sitting right outside your back door. A quiet lake, a deep water canal, or an uninterrupted line of sight to the sunset. That specific ambiance is the whole point. You're investing in the outdoor lifestyle and the peace of mind that comes with a wide open horizon. But almost immediately, you run into a practical problem: the Florida bugs, the leaves, and the intense sun. You need a pool enclosure to actually enjoy the space comfortably. And this is what usually happens. The standard pool cage goes up, and suddenly that expensive horizon is chopped into tiny squares by a heavy grid of vertical aluminum bars. It leaves you with a tough choice. You either deal with the mosquitoes and debris, or you sit on your patio feeling like you're looking at your own backyard through a jail cell.
Accepting that standard grid means actively blocking the exact scenic view you paid extra for when you bought the property. There is a structural alternative to that grid. It's called a picture view or an open view screen enclosure. Instead of looking through a dozen narrow columns, you look through a single massive screen panel. The view is completely unobstructed from left to right. To pull this off, the installation team has to entirely remove those vertical support posts that normally block your line of sight. Without vertical supports holding up the roof, the enclosure has to rely on custom-engineered horizontal beams to carry the entire weight of the structure above it. This makes the picture view a highly engineered architectural solution. It's designed specifically to reclaim your sightlines without compromising the safety of the enclosure. But removing those posts changes the physics of the cage. The remaining horizontal beam now has to handle dramatically more weight, and it has to resist a lot more wind pressure. This diagram illustrates what happens next. To prevent sagging, the horizontal beam expands from a thin post to 10 inches thick. But even with massive beams, there is a hard limit. You can only open a space to a maximum of 50 feet. Florida building codes dictate this limit. Engineers calculate exact wind loads to ensure the cage survives severe weather, and those structural requirements always overrule aesthetics. Because of these strict rules, you can't just build a floating, infinitely open box. Certain corners and strategic sidewalls have to keep their vertical posts to anchor the entire frame. Getting that wide, window-like view requires exact calculations and heavy-duty materials. That careful engineering is why an open span carries a premium cost over a standard cage. The aluminum frame is only half the equation. And when you stretch screen over a massive 50-foot opening, it catches the wind just like a giant sail. Standard screen mesh will simply tear or blow out under that kind of tension. You have to upgrade the material itself. This graphic shows the exact mesh types available. For these wide spans, contractors require super screen, which is a high tensile material designed to handle the intense pressure without ripping. Upgrading the beams and the mesh also changes how the local government views your project. Because it's a non-standard structure, it faces intense scrutiny from the city. You cannot build this on a handshake. You have to submit mandatory engineer-stamped blueprints that prove the math works. This notice of commencement document shows the administrative red tape involved. Florida statute requires strict filing and municipal inspections before, during, and after the build. The real investment in a picture view goes well beyond the extra metal and mesh. You are paying for the rigorous engineering and regulatory compliance required to ensure it stays standing through hurricane season. So, does it make sense for you to spend the extra money on this engineering? It comes down to the specific layout of your property. If your backyard in Southwest Florida overlooks an active canal, a preserve, or a golf course, the upgrade makes sense. It directly enhances your property's best feature. But if your pool cage faces a 6-foot privacy fence or your neighbor's sidewall, paying for 10-inch beams and stamped engineering won't yield much of a visual return on your investment. If you want the view but need to watch the budget, there is a very practical compromise. You don't have to redesign the entire cage. By converting just the rear-facing wall to a picture view and leaving the standard sides intact, you capture the dramatic, wide-open horizon at a fraction of the cost of a full redesign. A picture view isn't a mandatory upgrade for everyone. It's a targeted investment that should align perfectly with your property's best natural focal point. Deciding you want that panoramic view is only step one. The actual challenge is finding a contractor who can navigate the complex engineering and the HOA requirements without stalling your project. That's where Screen Factory Florida steps in.
They remove the guesswork upfront by building full 3D visualizations, so you can see exactly how the layout works before any construction starts. Their in-house team takes on all the heavy lifting with the county. They secure the engineer-stamped plans, file the notice of commencement, manage the HOA paperwork for you. They also back their engineering with a top-tier Better Business Bureau rating and a full 1-year warranty on the work. You know the installation is built to last. You bought your home to enjoy the Florida lifestyle. You shouldn't spend it looking at the horizon through a wall of aluminum bars. Click the link below or call the number on the screen to book your free consultation and measurement with Screen Factory Florida and finally get your panoramic view back.